Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see in the background, we're starting to make some progress on scenery. We're going to be scenicking this area, doing sculpt and mold, getting some land terrains, static grass, and then the backdrop up. All of that is here, ready to go. I just haven't gotten around to it. But today, back to the point, we're taking a look at the Broadway Limited Brass Hybrid Series Pennsylvania Railroad S2 turbine. We've looked at this before, so this will be an abbreviated video, but I will give you a lot of the stats here on the screen, usually at the beginning of the video, even though they may not be on screen. So let's take a look at what you get in the box next. Now, the last time we did a video, it was a Paragon 3. This is a Paragon 4. So, different box. It's a white box. You just pull the locomotive out of. Usually tucked into the side is the smoke fluid funnel. And in the bottom, in a trap door type of thing, is the manual. And this one doesn't want to come out at the second here. There we go. So in the sleeve is both the locomotive specific function list and the Paragon 4 manual, also switched to a white theme with over 30 pages of information, 31 to be exact, including all of the CVs and things that you can tweak on the locomotive. Pulling the locomotive out of the sleeve here, there are two side braces that fall off or fall away as you pull the sleeve off. There's a traction tire and tool for installing the traction tire, front coupler with screw, and then a little clasp with soft fabric-like material and plastic. The brass hybrid tucked away inside here, foam protecting it from its tender, and there we have the locomotive. So let's zoom in here and look at the front. This is so dark it kind of absorbs all the light, even though it's very bright here in my room. You got the Pennsylvania Railroad Keystone shield on the front of the smoke box door here with the rivets, or latches I should say, of the door, plus the hinges. High mounted headlights going to be LED on this model. You get the grill up here on the front, the pilot lead trucks, which is a triple truck lead here. So this is basically, so you know, a 686 locomotive. That means there's 6 lead wheels, 8 drivers, and there's going to be 6 trailing trucks as well. There are 4 smokestacks on this. You've got the handrails and the plumbing, the builder's plate up front here on that, along with the sand and boiler domes. You can see the unique feature here. I believe this helps kinetic energy or something, helps with the turbines, kind of experimental function. All the plumbing there. People can probably comment about it. I'm always wrong about these things. Safety pop-off valves up top there. 6200 on the cab. The firebox side here, you can see rivet detail along the side, plumbing, and the trailing trucks. You can see the cab figures. There's 2, one here, one little guy poking back there. There is a roof vent that is fixed. Just double checking for you. And there's a dynamo on the other side. We'll get to that in a moment. So 3 different settings on this locomotive for how close you want the tender. So you can drop this pin for the tender 3 different places. And I think I made it so close it doesn't want to come apart now. So might have to do that off camera, but just so you know, there are 3 different settings for the drawbar. There we go. Just pop it down like that, because I do want to show you the inside, and to do that we're going to have to angle it a little bit here. But inside, we'll get some light onto that. You can see the boiler backhead detail. You see the butterfly doors there, some gauges, and of course the crew members, we talked about that already. So you can also see the drawbar here, which is, like I said, got 3 locations on it for how close you want to couple this locomotive. And the closer you couple it, you're going to want larger radius curves, but the closer you couple it, the more realistic it looks as well. Speaking of realistic, the tender looks really nice, especially with this realistic looking coal load inside. And all of the details there. You've got some water hatches tucked away there on the side. I think they're water hatches in this case. I know this locomotive was somewhat experimental. Crew access ladder, a couple storage tanks there. On the rear, there's lighting, class lighting, the rear light, access for the crew up to the tender. You've got the accessory hoses with silver tipped ends and the drop steps so you can get up there. The crew can get up there onto the area. A grab iron there on the left. Going this way, more of the same. We do have one difference I wanted to point out is the dynamo on this side. It's up top. I can point it out to you. It helps generate power by converting steam into electricity. I believe that's the dynamo there. There's some more plumbing up top here, and the whistle, of course. And there's a little more plumbing on this side and different valves and tanks and such compared to the other side. I will tip this way so you can see the roof a little better. I want you to see the roof detail. Some of that's, I'm sure, got to do with the actual conversion of the steam into the turbine use or whatever. Another builder's plate on this side, high mounted headlight you can see predominantly there. That's going to round up our circular 360-degree view. Alright, we have the scale teared out here. I had to put it a little awkward because well, some of these pieces of wood are fastened to my layout as they're going to be part of the hills and stuff that I form. But over a 2-pound locomotive, 2 pounds 5.4 ounces. This is brass, so it's going to be heavy, 37.4 ounces. It's predominantly brass here. So 2 pounds 5.4 ounces. Okay, for Broadway Limited, you can start the locomotive with either pressing F9, which is an extended startup, or you can just move it. We'll do F9 here and start it up with the extended. Alright, we're going to listen to some sounds here. There is bell. Whistle. There's alternate whistle. And lots of other sounds as well. Let's go ahead and get this moving a little bit here. I wanted you guys to see the smoke, which I needed to refill during the cut because that blue sky was not showing it well enough. But there is smoke coming out of all 4 smokestacks here. So we have the bell, the whistle, which that's the alternate whistle. If you hit F22, and switch whistles, I believe that one actually might be the alternate whistle, but anyway, lots of different sounds. You hear the air pump going in the background right now. There's also coupler sounds, which when you move you hear. So you can turn the air pumps on more or off. F5's revving up, F6 revving down. So you hear that kind of ghostly sound of the turbine. And 5 is revving that up. 6 is revving it down. 8's master volume or mute. 9 start up and shut down like we covered. 10 is water injectors. 11's cooling fan. 12 is brake set. 13's grade crossing signal. We'll go ahead and do that one since we just kind of randomly pick. So pretty quick through there. 14 station sounds. 15 is all the 15 on's all the background chatter. We've covered a lot of those before. We'll skip that in the essence of time, but you know, the radio chatter and such. So let's go ahead and move this at 1 speed step here. Smoke is barreling out of all 4 of those smokestacks. As you can see, it's very, very smooth. But let's go ahead and check the AccuTrack speedometer for a speed. We'll go ahead and move this up to 1 speed step. I know it's blinking kilometers per hour down there. That's just a status light blink. A lot of people say I have the setting wrong. I do not. There's a setting you go in and actually confirm with a press button. Okay, so it already says we're moving at 3.1 scale miles per hour at speed step 1. So you can mess with CVs to slow that down even more. A lot of times the manufacturers are trying to find a happy medium between, you know, slow speed and the motor not being jerky, and this is very silky smooth already at speed step 1. Gonna swing back here while we're going in reverse and look at the rear lights. So you can see the rear marker lights, which are illuminated, and you can see the rear light itself. So that's pretty cool. Swinging back up to the front markers are prisms, but we do have a headlight here. You can see there. It's a nice lensed headlight, prototypical white. We'll just do a close zoom along the side of this here. It's a beautiful brass hybrid locomotive. When they're stopped, the little cab light is on, and when it goes up to about 3 speed steps, that turns off as well. Indicate the locomotive engineer is ready to move along. And the fireman. Zeroing out my ounces here, we'll go ahead and do a speed test, a pull test. Looks like about 9, just probably more than that. Looks like our battery's running low in this, but it did get up to 9 there. Actually got up to 11, so just really crazy pull tests on all of these Broadways. You're gonna be able to pull any freight consist you want essentially without any problem. Some people comment they don't like smoke. You can just simply turn off smoke. So it's pretty easy to just turn that off if you don't like it. It's F7. We're going to go and move this a little faster, but before I'm going to back it up to do so. People say they want to see a little bit of running by a little quicker than a couple miles an hour, and we'll be able to address that better once the layout is back online fully. As you know, it's been a little while since I moved, but we're trying to get that under wraps and get everything to where we can run around the layout no problems. Up to 80 some speed steps now, it's taken off. And you see the marker lights back there. It's got pretty good momentum built in to where it'll stop, but without like jerking and stopping on a dime. So it won't take forever to stop, but it will quickly stop without any issues. Get this back in the frame here for you. There's quite a bit of overhang on those trailing trucks, and they look derailed, but they're not. Side rods look pretty good too in action there. So I just wanted to give you a good view of these. They're really nice looking locomotive, and I think the sound is just so cool, and the 4 smokestacks is unique. Obviously, if you're modeling Pennsylvania Railroad, PRR, whatever you want to call it, during this time era, this is going to be a must for you as well. Coupler height, I may include that on the stat sheet, but that was actually fine on this. Front seemed like it was angled a little bit, but it was dead on the meter. Well, that's going to do it for our review of the Broadway Limited Pennsylvania Railroad S2 Turbine. What a great locomotive. It just glides down the tracks. Beautiful drive. Brass locomotive is a real value with this hybrid line, which is all brass except for the little accessory pieces and stuff. So you're talking about less than $900 versus the brass steam locomotives I see going for $2,000, $3,000 or more. This also has added capacitance, which I didn't mention in the review, but I'll mention now. And just a great value overall, which means you can pull it off the track. It'll stay powered for a couple seconds. Dirty track, no problem if it loses connection. As you can see, we're in a run by, so we'll see you next time right here on the channel. Take care.